Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the art community. It's your girl Ariel, and I'm here with my co-host Chris Rice, and we are sitting down and talking to the lovely and talented Crystal Power. She is a cinematographer, a director of photography, and a budding director. Hi, Crystal. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm just not meeting you today. And like I said, I like finding familiarity in like the conversation that we're going to have today. I think one of my first things I want to start with, I remember watching a video you talking about when you start getting to your creativity. And you always knew you wanted to do that, but you start pursuing it at 21 years old, if I'm correct.
19.
19. So on that journey, did you have a lot of supporters, or did you have any second thoughts, or you just like, this is what I'm going to do?
I don't remember having a lot of supporters. I also don't remember having many enemies either. I think the biggest thing for me was I had this ambition that burned inside of me, and I refused to settle for anything below what I felt I seen for myself in the future and what I felt I have the potential to become. And so when I began to make mistakes, because at that age, at 19, I'm just 19.
Right.
You know?
I remember them times.
You know, I'm just a 19-year-old girl who grew up in Conyers, Georgia, to a single mother. I remember my father when I was younger, but along the way and as I got older, our relationship faded. So I didn't like grow up with my father. Yeah. But my mom held it down. Like, she is the epitome of why I work as hard as I work. Not only because that's what I saw and that is what I grew up around, but also because I want to spoil her. You know what I mean? Like, I want to give back to her in a way that shows the fruit of her labor in the best way that I can say thank you. And for me, it's by my actions and making sure that she reaches a point in her life where she don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. You know, and so that's the main thing that drives me. I grew up in a very intellectual type house. Like, we always talked. Like, whenever we got together for holidays, it was always conversation. But I was just always the different one. I wasn't weird.
Yeah.
Or...
You unique.
Yeah.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
Yeah.
I was unique. Yeah. But in being unique, I was, you know, I was very unique. But I was still solid. My mom always knew I was going to do something great. Like, she always knew that. And so I grew up with a black mama. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, you know, I'm black, but I want to say the culture that I grew up in my household as I was growing was a black household with a black single mother. Mm-hmm. And if you understand the dynamic of a black single mother, then you understand the basis of my childhood.
Yeah. A lot of church.
We
gonna get to that. Listen, I know about that. A lot of church. Hey, Saturday,
church.
Choir.
My God. For me, I did choir, but I also danced.
Oh, we had a praise team.
Yeah.
I always wish I did a praise team. I talk about that.
Yeah, we talked about that when we were talking to Jeff.
You should do it.
I should have.
You should do it now.
I wish I so did.
You could.
I'm big jealous back then. I didn't. I was in the choir. I was in the usher. I was all those things.
Come on, the junior deacon board.
Junior deacon board.
My God.
My
God.
Listen, because I did look at your playlist. Mm-hmm. The church playlist. Mm-hmm. That's what man. Like, I know you went to church.
Oh yeah.
But one thing I didn't see it on there was Melodies from Heaven.
Oh
yeah, you were playing.
That's an understood variable.
That's understood. Yeah,
that's
I didn't see it on there, but I was
it's on there.
It's on there. I didn't.
But it's
see
not
it.
on the one that's to the public.
It's on to the public. I know it's in your heart.
Yo, no. It's on my playlist, but all my playlists not for the public.
I'm one of those people. I connect music with people. So like if I'm having a gathering and I'm playing music, one of my thing is no shazamming. So when you hear that song again, I want you to think of me. So that's how I relate to music in a way. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can
so
see that.
I'm definitely like that. It's not area for the public. It ain't for you to jam. This is for us. This is how you gonna remember me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and knowing how to set a vibe with the music is critical too. Because I'm big on having the right music in the right setting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's R&B.
R&B.
Yeah, I can feel that. But as far as with growing up and being different or unique, if you will, my mother just knew I was special. So she handled me differently. She realized I had, and I'm just having like flashbacks of things that I've done. And some of them good and some of them, but she knew like I had to be monitored at all times, basically. I got to a point where she didn't leave me alone anymore. I started having to go to the Boys and Girls Club, and at the Boys and Girls Club, when I got old enough, I played all the sports that was available. Now some of them I did not finish, but I did.
You attempted. That's all that matters.
You know, right?
See how my heart was when I needed the praise team. At least
I did sign up though. My name was on the wall. So it was pretty official.
Yeah.
But as I began to pursue what I realized was my passion and my destiny, my mom supported me. She was very supportive in the capacity of how she could be supportive. Because for me, I was breaking a generational curse that I'm assigned to do, basically.
Right.
And so because it was something that I'm assigned to do, just because I'm born to a woman that loves God and who is very, very capable, that doesn't mean she had the full ingredients of what I needed to become who I am today and who I'm still evolving into. And so for her, she was super supportive. Like every time I traveled the world, anytime I was gone, she would just call and check on me. It was never anything negative. So I think out of everything, she was super supportive. My Aunt Connie was super supportive. It was just like they knew I was different. And they was like, I'm not artsy. Because my mom's not artsy, my Aunt Connie's not artsy. Like, they're very intellectual. And they supported it within their capacity. And when I needed them, they were there. When I had my hard learning times, they were there. When I had times when I was scared and alone, they were there. So I'll say those were the two core pillars in my journey. And then, the friends that I had along the way. And then some of the friends that I lost along the way, too. But as far as consistency, I would say my family. As far as like when I first started. Now it's different, but yeah, when I first started, it was my family.
Yeah. Me and Chris are always talking about the importance of having a village, and I just was writing on an interview that someone was doing for me, and I put that in there about like one of the key things is having support from trusted family and friends and even colleagues. Like sometimes even in the industry, you don't always find people that want to see you win and that want to help you move up. But when you do, it's like you hold on and those colleagues become like friends and family. So having a village, people always say like it takes a village to raise a child, but even as adults, we still need a village. We still need a village to move forward.
Very much so. And I'm very protective and possessive over my village. I'm very grateful for my community because it's critical. And it's critical to be a part of a community that understands not who you are, but who you are to become. That's hard to find. And so when you find it, my only advice is to cherish it. And some people may be like, oh, it's just a friend. And it's just, no. If someone is in your life that you cannot even see yourself or picture yourself in a consistent, cherishing way, then you need to reevaluate why they're in your life. Because everybody that's in your life that you're doing life with, it's different. Because I know Ariel outside of here. This is my first time meeting him. But it's different because I know her. But we are really still in the space of where we know of each other. but we don't do life together. But because I know her and I know what she's capable of and I know what she has the potential to become, when she asked me, it was an immediate yes. And so it's about knowing who you are in connection with. So many people are connected to people that they don't really know. And then they wonder why their life is in a rut or they're not living the life that they want to live. I literally live the life that I want to live in the capacity of what I have the ability to control. The only thing that I'm not living right now that I desire to live is being married with a baby. About 2 of them. You know,
I feel that.
But I can't control anyone else, and I dare not try to manipulate or force it if it's not time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, and I'm glad you had that support. My mother, she was supportive, but she, like you said, generational curse, doing something new. You know what I mean? So like her thoughts was just like finding a living, because unfortunately, like I said earlier, like my mission of bringing people together is doing something you love. And unfortunately, when it comes to arts, it's always this stigma of the starving artist.
The starving artist,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, like we can just find a new way to not let people look at it that way and bring people closer together doing something they love. Like, that's a beautiful thing.
And I think in the Black community, being an artist it's not really understood.
Yeah.
And it's when it is seen and when it has been previously seen. These are just my thoughts, nothing factual, but this is just my perspective. When they have been previously seen, successful creative artists in the Black community, they were either on drugs or they were either very narcissistic or they were abusive, just kind of in a derogatory perspective to people. But I think the more we continue to come together and, like you said, create platforms of communication, is like, hey, you have the ability to become a unit photographer as a Black woman. You have the ability to become a camera operator as a Black woman. You have the ability to become a director of photography as a Black woman. But it's different when you don't see that. I know for me, I was young, but I knew that God had a call on my life. I mean, I still did things that was wild and out, which is why Jesus had to go to the cross, because he knew I was not going to be perfect. That's the whole point of him going to the cross. Hallelujah.
Hey.
But even in the midst of me not being my best self unto God, not submitted to God, he still covered me. Grace and mercy.
Absolutely.
Grace and mercy.
I
Love that. I think my next thought is, did you go to school for this? Like, I know you went to Georgia State. Or like when, like, how was your journey navigating once you knew, like, okay, I'm pursuing this? Like, what was your journey, your first step?
My first step was one day when I was at work, I was a supervisor at UPS.
Okay.
At the loading facility off of Pleasantdale Road.
Hey, I live near there. Okay. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I was a training supervisor there, and one day I was in a truck and I was training someone on how to load the truck.
Yeah.
And I promise you, it was just like, as we're sitting here talking, the Holy Spirit came to me and was like, there's no such thing as job security.
Woo! Talk that talk.
Ooh,
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
I wasn't ready for that one.
Yeah. That's a fact. The CNN's closing down.
Yeah.
I was like, yikes. Okay. And I was, working a corporate job. I had everything squared away. I was actually on my way into nursing school because my plan was to go to nursing school and join the Air Force and become a travel nurse.
Wow.
My mother prayed over me for many, many years. And this was the prayer that she prayed specifically for me, because she always prayed over each of us. I told you, I have a Black mother. You be sleeping good. And it's probably around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and you got to get up 6 o'clock to go to school the next morning. And all you hear is, oh, God. She don't care that you're asleep. It's like, ma'am,
Yeah.
I am asleep.
Yeah.
And so you just lay there. And you better not wake up, because if you wake up, you're going to have to join her and walk the floor with her. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I just lay there, I'm deep sleep. Just let her just put the oil on my forehead, and she do a little cross. But one prayer I do remember hearing, I know she's done that multiple times, but one prayer I do remember hearing, and I believe that God allowed me to hear this prayer so it can be permanently sealed in my heart, right? She would always pray, go travel the world, go see the world. She always prayed for me specifically to travel and see different parts of the world. And so as I got older and different opportunities presented itself, that prayer always came back to me. And so the Holy Spirit was like, you're trying to make a plan and pursue something, thinking that there is safety in the earth among your journey. And I was like, is there not? Immediately, you think of, when you hear that question, you immediately think of James chapter 1, verse 2-4, where it says, now through the trials and the tests that we are facing, that is how our faith is built. And James says, let faith have its perfect work through perseverance. So that, now understanding that scripture, back then I didn't understand it. In the process of it, I didn't understand it. But I immediately, again, I was young. I was literally 19. They were paying for me to go to school. I was headed into nursing school. I immediately walked out of the truck, stopped training the person that I was training, walked out of the truck, and I said, hey, man, I gotta go.
I love it.
There's no such thing as job security, man. I gotta quit.
Yo.
And so I quit my job that day.
Yo.
Wow.
Man,
I love it.
I love it. It's two things. It's two things on my journey I've been on. To me, that's the most empowering thing. Like, first of all, I left like 3 jobs, so I don't care.
Now, let me say this.
Yeah.
After experiencing everything I experienced, I still would have left the job. I still would have been obedient and left the job. Because I had this thing of, mind you, again, I grew up with a black mama, so I grew up in an era and a culture of it's holiness or hell. So it's either it's white and black, or it's template. Like, I've learned now, and I've gotten to a point now that my relationship with God is not a template, it's customized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the way my father corrects me is not the way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the way I handle my niece may not be the way I handle my nephew.
Yeah.
But I'm still both of their aunts. You know, their mother is still my sister. And no matter how I try to treat one niece, like my youngest niece, now when my oldest niece was born, I was in a different time in my life. So I was not able to, spend as much time with her and be there while she was growing up. It was very distant, maybe only holidays.
Right.
But now that I am in a more mature state and in a more mature place, my youngest niece, who is only 5, is getting a different experience with me. But I'm still both of their aunts.
Right.
So the way my father corrects me is not the way he may correct you.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he's not your father and he don't love you. So with all of that, I would say I would not have quit my job in that manner. I would have walked it out with strategy.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, God, I hear you. What is the plan?
Right.
How should I execute it? Because a lot of times the body of Christ be so quick to want to obey God that they don't listen for the fullness of the instructions to properly prepare for the journey. It'd be like, it's so quick. Again, you got to go to the Bible.
Yeah.
Where the people, when Pharaoh finally let the people go, and they turned a 40-day trip into 40 years. I think sometimes we extend our trials because you just won't get the lesson. So I wouldn't quit like that again.
Yeah. Only did it 3 times. And thank God he looked out for me.
Right.
See, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, the Bible says he is a keeper of the fools.
Yeah. But the other 2 times, like you said, I was laid off. So I
Oh, that's different.
yeah. So
you ain't do that. He did that.
Yeah, he did
so
that,
then you
yeah.
have to ask yourself, did he tell you to do it and you didn't do it?
Yeah.
And he had to make a way because he
Yeah.
told you when he dried up the land, he told you to move and you over there digging in the sand. Telling me some God send the rain. He said, no, there is no rain because I told you take your hips on up to this cave, Elijah. Go on up to this cave and have this cave experience. So you don't want to listen, I'm going to lay you off.
yeah. Hey, but I bounce back. I love it.
Delayed, it's not, you didn't bounce back. You processed through the journey.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Because God had to deal with me about that too. I kept trying to get to a place of where I was. God was like, I'm trying to take you to a better place. So he ain't bounced back. You came through.
Yeah.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
Looking like Malcolm X's brother.
Woo.
You got Malcolm X glasses on,
Yeah.
looking like Dr. King.
Hey. I want to talk about your traveling experience. I know that's
Lord Jesus, please let me go to Amsterdam.
Oh, you've been to Amsterdam.
I have.
Yeah,
I
you
wanna go back.
have.
Jesus, I want to go back.
Yes. First of all, like what? I guess name me some of the places that you really enjoyed, and then you recommend for people to go that you have experienced.
I just think, first of all, people in general should experience the earth in every way possible. Now, I ain't talking about going to no cave now. Anything devilish, anything demonic, follow your gut, because your gut will not lead you wrong. Now, that's the disclaimer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think of doing cool stuff, but my auntie always tell me, play the whole tape. That means play it all the way through. Play all the dynamics. But the places that I love London. That was my first international trip. I went to London, and the very first time I went there for 18 days. So it was an amazing experience. I stayed in a beautiful hotel. I was blessed enough to travel and not have to pay a dime. And traveling like on a level of 5-star. But with that, I was traveling under the auspice of a client. But along that journey, watch this. But along that journey, I went through a phase of realizing this is my client's life. This isn't my life. You don't stay in 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
You're 19.
Yeah.
This is her life.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you don't own a Rolls Royce. She does.
Yeah.
This is not your life, ma'am.
Yeah.
But it felt good to grow up in that.
Right.
And I say grow up because I literally worked with her from the age of 19 to 31. So I really grew up under her. And so it was just a nice package deal. Traveling 5-star, still being in church, still learning about God, still doing what I love, still learning who I am, all through the lens of photography. So when the Bible says that your gift will make room for you, like my whole career is a living testament of that. It's like I was a lifestyle photographer before a lifestyle photographer for social media was a thing.
Right.
So I felt like, and God had to change my perspective on this because initially I felt like I was behind. And I was like, I want to be a lifestyle photographer. Like I want to go and take pictures and travel the world with people. And God was like, sis, you already did that.
Yeah.
You did that when you was 19. And so now I'm like 30 and I'm like, okay, what's next? So I just shifted to the next thing, which was to go back to school to get my degree from Georgia State. And for me, getting my degree was a personal thing, right? But because I traveled the world, because I've experienced different cultures, it helped my work ethic as well. So places that I would say for people, everybody need to go is as many places as you can. Leave the country. Like, don't be afraid. Leave the country. Get some friends. Study, the culture. It's definitely important to, when you go to these places, to, you don't have to become the culture, but at least study it enough so you'll go and be respectful.
Right.
But definitely leave the country. And if you're nervous about it, start out traveling to different states. You know, go to states that you wouldn't normally go to. Google things to experience. But that's just general as a people. I mean, as just general people. But for us as a people, I believe everyone should go to Africa.
Absolutely.
And I don't say that from a go there because you're black. So if we were Irish, I would say go to Ireland. Go to where you have some ancestors at. And just go experience the culture there. Experience what you would have been like if your ancestors were never kidnapped.
Yeah. You been to Johannesburg? I think I saw Johannesburg.
Was it Johannesburg?
I think
it was Durban.
Durban, okay.
Yeah, Durban, South Africa. I've been to Lagos, Nigeria. I've been to Bayelsa State, Nigeria. I think that's it as far as Africa goes.
Okay.
Well, Morocco. Isn't Morocco in Africa? Yeah.
Yes.
Morocco.
In the northern.
But I was very proud. Like when I went to Morocco, it's for a very close friend's birthday.
Okay.
So that was the first time I traveled internationally. Well, that's a lie. I was about to say, well, it's the first time I paid
Right, okay.
to travel internationally for vacation.
Yeah.
Because if that would have been a bold-faced lie, and if my godmother would have heard this, she would have been like, girl, you know you lying. You know you done went out of the country to have a vacation. What is wrong with you? I had a vacation in Amsterdam. I had a vacation in London. I had an opportunity to go to Paris, but again, I thought that was my life. And I was like, I'll go another time. Girl, that is not your life. So, I'm still trying to go.
Right.
I still have yet to go to Paris. And that was years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to circle back and ask you, because I feel like I remember you talking about this when we were at Holiday Bar that time, about the challenges you faced in the industry as far as like a black woman in cinema as a cinematographer and, DP.
I just think as a black creative, period, black woman, there is a space where black women need to see other black women being artistic. It's kind of like being artistic and free, if you will. To encourage it and share with each other how we can help each other reach those goals. One thing that I'm grateful for is the wisdom to understand how to interact with people who don't value or see your value or recognize your worth. If people do enough self-work, they can get to the point where you can interact with the devil and be all right. And I think for me, that was one thing when I was younger, I really prayed for wisdom, not knowing that I would have to experience a lot of things in order to be able to have wisdom. My godmother always says, you can't preach about nothing that you have not walked through. Like you got to walk it out. Like you can't help anybody through school if you didn't finish school. Initially, I experienced intimidation. I'll talk about that first. I experienced intimidation where it wasn't really bullying, where, some clear people were trying to, stand their territory with the position in the camera department for television. And so when they were trying to intimidate me in order for me to not try to go after more. In the midst of me going after more, it was coming into a team that they had already solidified and they were not ready to have new people come in.
Right.
The industry is very team-based. You want to work with people that you know how to work with, who know how you work, and who can support your weaknesses. That's a good leader. That's what they would want to do. But in learning that, you get to a point where you get to a point where you have interactions and you learn from them and you realize where your hardships are going to sit. Because I've heard stories from other black females, and I just want to take a moment to drop a plug to my 600 Black Women organization, which is a organization that represents the small minority percentage of Black women in the local 600 union, which is the Cinematographers Guild, as women who work with cameras, DPs, still photographers, publicists. We all sit under the union, IATSE Local 600. So a beautiful lady by the name of Chris, she created this organization for women who are in camera to come together, to train together, to learn from each other, to support each other. And she titled the group 600 Black Women because it's the local 600. And we are steady climbing every day and having that space where we can vent. I've heard different stories that Black women have experienced. I'm just like, dang.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that. I'm sorry you experienced that. And please use this space to talk it through. But for me personally, it was more so the intimidation thing. My godmother tried to teach me that when I was younger. She like literally the main thing she got onto me for like a year straight was about my lack of diplomacy. And I now know she had to get on me a year straight about my lack of diplomacy because my interaction with people was going to be the most critical thing. I'm going to ask you a question and I want your honest to God opinion or answer, I should say. When you asked me about changing the date for the interview, what did you initially think my response would be from what you've experienced of me thus far?
I think I hoped that you would be flexible, but I think it's more of what we've been experiencing from trying to do the interviews with other people where it hasn't worked out in the back and forth. So I was worried we weren't going to be able to adjust, but I was hopeful and I was like, no, I think Crystal will be able to be flexible.
I'm pointing to something that's mounted to the center of the table. It's an outlet
port.
And so the outlet port in the center of the table is the goal. I'm looking for the answer that goes straight to here. You gave me an answer that goes to the water bottle, to the fruit, back to the water bottle, back to me, and then back to my shades that's on the table, and then back to me, and then back to the fruit, and then to the outlet. And then you said, did I answer? Is that the answer you wanted? It don't matter what I want. When you initially said, okay, let me do the change, and then when you text me today about the adjustment we needed to make, what was your initial thought of what I would say? Did you think I would say yes, or did you think I would say no?
I thought you would say yes.
Okay, I'll take it. The point of that was I wanted to see I've had to learn, and that's actually showing me that I've grown in a lot of ways. If you would have asked somebody that maybe 7 years ago, they would have been like, she gonna say no. She gonna have something to say about it. And in some instances, I probably will have something to say about certain things, but in this instance, no. Because what my godmother was trying to get me to understand that you're responsible for if people feel as though they can approach you. Like you're responsible for the energy you give off.
Yeah.
You're responsible for how you put things out there with the possibility of how it could make someone feel. I'm responsible for that. And because I know I'm responsible for that, I have to handle myself accordingly. And the way you handle yourself accordingly when you're interacting with people is through diplomacy. So I had to go around it a long way because we went from the fruit to the water, back to me to the sunglasses, back to the plug. Because I have a presence, it was always intimidation for me. But it was like a pissing contest. And when I was younger, I would join in the pissing contest. And what I mean by pissing contest is where you put your chest up. I got something to prove.
Yeah.
I'm the most creative of the creative. I'm the, I got to show I'm the best photographer there is. I'm the best editor there is. I can do it. Then I had to get to a place where I matured and it was like, you can put your chest out all you want to. I know who I am.
Right.
I'm good. But I can help you. You could really put your chest away and we can work together. You could really put your chest away and because there's enough room for everybody at the table.
Right.
Absolutely.
Is that like speaking of going back to your experience, was that very empowering working with somebody like Tasha Smith? Like, because I remember her doing the interview, she was talking about the BMF series, and everybody had nothing but positive things to say about her. And also, even watching your videos, people was talking about how they made her, how she made people feel on set, and the energy and the aura and everything she brings. Talking about energy, what you give off to people. Was that empowering, just being around her and seeing where she's at directing and stuff like that?
Can I just digress and say, you really did your research.
Yeah.
You really did your research.
Yeah.
I commend you, brother.
Thank you.
You really did your research. And this is stuff I did years ago. Oh, that is so sweet. I just want to say Tasha Smith is a jewel.
Yeah, I heard.
A jewel, a jewel, a jewel, a jewel. If you ever have a chance to work with her, take it. Even if you work on a project where you end up working with her and you make less of an hourly rate, take it. The experience that you'll have with her, she's a jewel. Working with her was definitely empowering, just watching her. But what lit me up even more, what ignited me to my next level of, I could really do this.
Yeah.
I could really do this, is seeing so many amazing Black women walking in diplomacy, classy, but still handling their business.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm finna decree and declare a thing because it just hit me. I've worked with amazing Black women, so working with Tasha Smith was everything. But what made it even more was when I asked her if I could record behind the scenes of her. I was a PA on that show. I worked in the office on P-Valley.
I saw that. Oh, we want to talk about that too. Which one of our favorite shows? We won't get into that.
I was an office PA.
Wow.
But I was an office PA who was looking for every opportunity, not available, but every opportunity that I could make to get closer and closer to my goal. That's why you don't have time to answer questions. Sorry.
It's all good.
You don't have time to answer questions going to the water and then going to the berries and then going to me and then going to my shades. You got to get to a place where you see a thing, you got to go straight to it.
Agreed.
And stand 10 toes down. And even though you are, like in this moment, talking on a microphone, still stand 10 toes down. That's why he said, get in the mic, and you still not in the mic. When you come back, get in the mic, and you stand 10 toes down.
Hey.
God has already sent you somebody to help you get to a place of where you're trying to go.
Oh, Lord. Woo.
My little heart.
Yo, I'm definitely put a sound effect right there.
Absolutely. Listen, and that's important. I think like with when I was saying earlier before we started it, and I was saying how usually I let Chris do the introductions. I think there were some things in my childhood that kind of silenced me. So I don't like, when I said I don't like to be front and center, I've gotten into a place where I'm like, I can just be in the background. And it is practice. It's practice to build that confidence and trust myself, and then let other people trust in me, like knowing that he didn't have to agree to do this with me, like to team up with me. You didn't have to be like, I'm gonna do this interview. It's
called provision.
Yeah,
it's called provision.
And with confidence, even when we talk about like the risk as creatives that we've taken to, when you have that fear or certain things that you feel like can be a hindrance, but you keep persevering, I am working on that. Like we're all like a work in progress.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate you for getting me together. Because sometimes we need it. Like sometimes we need it, especially even in the moment. Be more of an encouragement and not be an offense or be defensive. And that I'm like, whew, I know. Look, I've been leaning back.
Yeah.
And it'll call you forward.
Yeah.
It'll call you forward to who you are to become.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that process is pain and discomfort. A lot of times we think and we believe that process is, oh, it's the glorious days.
Yeah.
It's when I put on all the makeup and I get dressed and I step down the stairs and someone helps me to the car. That's just a milestone
Yeah.
that comes every so often. We have to fall in love with the process. And we have to fall in love with getting down to the nitty gritty of who we are. And I was hoping that the comment about you not wanting to come into the limelight would come around again. Yeah, because we gonna tap that. Just
Speaking of, I want to talk more about just amazing Black women in general. I want to talk about P Valley. So I watched your video. First of all, I feel like that behind the scenes video, how everybody was interacting, I feel like that'd be great promo. Like if you, I don't know if you like doing that, but that was a great music video that you.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved
I really enjoyed it.
I loved it.
P Valley's one of my favorite shows. Clifford,
Down in the valley where the girls get
naked. Yo,
You gotta run that. You gotta run that a little bit.
Yo.
You gotta run that a little bit up right under that part. But P Valley.
Another Black creator.
Oh my.
So tell me about your experience on P Valley. I love that show. I like the cast is amazing. I love Clifford. That's probably my favorite. He's so fun.
Listen.
Yo.
Listen.
Yo, I love that show.
Listen. P Valley is a show that is in my top 5.
Yeah.
That show was so heartwarming, uplifting, encouraging. And that's the show where I worked with Tasha Smith on. She directed an episode on P Valley
Oh yeah, she
season 1.
did. Yeah.
So that's where her behind the scenes come from.
Okay.
But like I was saying earlier, when I asked Tasha, could I do behind the scenes on her, for her to, she quickly said yes. She quickly said yes, because I told her I was prepared. We're going to talk about being prepared.
Yeah.
But I was prepared, and I just told her, like, I just want to document Black girl magic.
Yeah.
Because it's what I need. I need to see representation of me doing things that I see I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
And to see that and to have them embrace you, she immediately embraced me as a little sister. Immediately. She was like, any questions you got, let me know. She was like, yeah, you can record me. No problem. If you need me to answer anything, let me know. She was in it. You would think I said, Tasha, I could pay you.
Yeah.
That's how, but that's also why she stays so blessed.
Yeah.
But she also, here's a key to tie back to what we was talking about with traveling. She travels the world. If you look at her Instagram, she's always in another country, experiencing the culture. Exposure helps you get to the fullness of who you are. You can't experience the fullness of what you have the potential to become if you're just closed-minded and you've been in the same place forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to change your environment. So, but the other beautiful thing, I met a lot of beautiful, amazing Black women on P Valley. So you have Tasha Smith, but before Tasha Smith got there, it was the one and only Katori Hall, the creator, writer, producer of P Valley, and another beautiful, amazing Black queen in leadership, doing her thing, all while being a mother with small children.
Right.
Yeah. That's empowering.
Yeah, like I had an opportunity of a lifetime. A friend of mine was going out of town, and at that time, this particular friend was Katori's assistant on the show. And so my friend asked me to cover for her while she was going. And again, I was an office PA. So opportunity was available. I took it. Yeah, I'll cover. My boss in the office said it was fine. And I took I want to say it was almost a week maybe. And I was Katori's assistant. And just to spend that time assisting her, watch her go from meeting to meeting to meeting, and then hopping on the phone with her kids in between meetings, and then going over scripts and going over stories and going over costumes. Because as a showrunner, the director is going to come in, but the showrunner is still peeking in. Like, the showrunner is still having that input about the look and the feel of the show. So they're very vital in making sure each director that comes in is comfortable and understands, this is how we've been shooting, this is how we need you to continue. So just to see her in that dynamic, I was like, we are so amazing. Like, Black women are everything.
Them shots on them poles when they on the poles is amazing.
Oh my God.
That favorite episode, that Murder Night episode was part of
like, and just their genius with creating the show, writing the show.
Yeah.
Uncle Clifford, I love him.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel in your heart regarding Uncle Clifford, as far as like what you think he would be as a person, like when he's not acting, he is.
Yeah.
He is all of that. He is so amazing, sweet, loving. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. But on that show, another beautiful Black queen was Montez Monroe, who is at that time she was the line producer for that show. And who is now, even to this day, still a mentor of mine for the industry. And having mentors, just to digress really quick, having mentors is very important too, especially for our culture. Having mentors that look like you are super, super important. Having people in your life that you can go to and who have more wisdom than you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around people and I'm the smartest one. I can't grow with that.
Yeah.
Right.
No. So having a mentor is very critical. Humble yourself. And don't be afraid if somebody say no. If somebody say no, so they not the one. No simply means next opportunity.
Woo. Talk about it.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't gonna take it personal. God got something else in store. He's saying no for a reason. I gotta trust it. And so I asked her. I was like, I wanted to interview her. The video you probably saw on my YouTube channel. Dropping a plug. Follow me on YouTube at I am Crystal Powers.
Yeah.
Don't put no S on on my last name. It's just CRYSTAL POWER. But the way my godmother said, so she had a different way that she said it when I know I'm in trouble, and then when I know she just she loved me.
Yeah.
So when she loved me, is Crystal Power?
Yeah.
Crystal Power. That's when she loved me.
Yeah.
When I'm in trouble, it's Crystal Power. Crystal Power. I know the difference.
Yeah, the tone.
Yeah. So having that opportunity, back to the amazing Black women on P-Valley, having the opportunity to watch Montez Monroe work as a line producer, as a Black female line producer. And it's amazing because a lot of people don't understand the dynamic that goes into being a line producer, but they're hired by the studio. So it's kind of like they're not really on our team.
Right.
It's, you know what I'm saying? They're protecting the man. I'm just But yeah, and she was another one. If you ever need anything, let me know. If you ever have anything that you need help with, let me know. And I don't say them words to me because I'm going to take you up on your offer.
Right.
And she did that interview, she another one. Working on a show is hard work.
I know.
It's draining.
Well.
It's exhausting. And for them to go above and beyond to help me, like even that video that you saw with a crew did for the P-Valley.
Yeah.
Now, Katori picked that song out herself. She said to me, use this particular song. I was like, okay, got it. Because I told her what I was doing, because that was a video for the rap party.
Yeah, I saw.
So I told her what I was doing, and she actually did a performance, but something happened. And y'all read in the article where she hurt her leg. She did that being in my video. But that's just how sweet she is. Yeah. She hurt her leg trying to do the video, and she was like, delete the footage. I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But, just being around Black women who immediately accept you, who immediately support you, just fuels you in the way like you was discussing as well. Like, We need that. Like we need
do.
each other, and not just as a culture, but as a people. You know what I mean? As a people, as a whole. And I always get humbled when I think about us needing each other as a people, as a whole. I despise racism, right? Rightfully so, because I'm a beautiful Black woman. But I also keep in mind that no matter how many people hate me or made, discriminate against me because of the color of my skin, I still know my blood type is O positive. Meaning if you ever need help with saving your life, they gonna come to me. The Red Cross hit me up all the time. I have universal blood.
Yeah.
So you can feel however you want to feel, but if you're B positive and you need some blood, they still gonna come to me, this beautiful Black skin, and go into the same thing that we have in common, which is red blood.
Yeah.
So you can feel some sort of kind of way. That's okay. You still gonna need me.
Still gonna need me.
I love you had that experience. And like you said, it definitely, like, working on set is long hours, but it's good having good support, good crew, like just a good environment, because it's hours alone. What we do, people may not understand it, but it takes a lot of work.
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
I always say the shortest part of production is the viewing.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, that's the shortest part. It's the shortest, but it's the most rewarding. And I love it. Yeah. But I also think that it requires a certain level of self-control and self-awareness to be successful in Hollywood, like on sets. Like if you're in a position where you're in the on-production portion of the crew, then you should be, I should say, because some people aren't. You should be in a place where you are self-aware and you're settled in yourself. Oh, the thing that I have to decree is out of those beautiful Black women that I've worked with who immediately open their arms to me, like on P-Valley and stuff, the one that there's another one that I definitely want to work with is Regina King.
I would love to work with Regina King.
Listen.
I love.
I'm gonna say something because I
that woman.
I want to get more into doing like voiceover stuff, and I rewatched behind the scenes from Boondocks, and I was watching
She's
Regina
amazing.
King jump in and out of character from Riley, and I was just like,
Regina King is like a queen that is low key, and I just feel like she needs to be honored sooner than later.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sooner than later. She is amazing. My best friend has worked with her. And I would FaceTime my best friend every day. I was like, what is that? What are you guys doing? What are you guys shooting?
Yeah.
How'd the scene go? And she'd be like, oh my God, girl, I gotta go to work.
How do you maintain your well-being? Like, because the industry can be demanding, how do you maintain your mental health, your overall well-being?
The truth is, I do not. Whenever I feel like having a breakdown, I have it. Whenever I feel like crying, I cry. Whenever I feel like screaming, I scream. Whenever I feel like punching something, I go lift weights. Whenever I feel like cussing somebody out, I go lift weights. Whenever I feel like bringing bodily harm to someone, I go lift weights. I think being fully aware of your emotions is critical. Not just for this industry, but I just think in life, you have so many people who are so numb and so broken and so hurt that they are so hurt that they walk around with the thought that everyone is not human, or they want everyone to hurt just as much as they're hurting. And so I think for me, because I've learned that I am a type of person that is scientifically called the highly sensitive person. And what that is someone who just feels on a whole different level. We feel more intensely. We think more. I'm trying to think of it's an acronym. We think more. We feel more empathy, and we're easily overstimulated. So now coming to a place that I've learned that, and now that I understand that, I've reshaped my life to accommodate that. Financially, how that is applied is I may want to go and buy a $600,000 house next week, But because I know in this industry, work is like the rhythm of a heartbeat. It's up and down. So with it being up and down, knowing how to properly manage your finances is critical for the longevity in this industry. And not to mention if you get hurt or if you get sick, or for women, if you're pregnant.
Right.
And I know for me, when I do have children, I want to be at home with my children. I don't want to have to rush and go back to work.
Yeah.
So, and one other thing that I've added since 2020 is I go to therapy every week.
Absolutely.
Like I go to therapy as if I had to go to dialysis. It's like clockwork. It's not penciled in. It's permanent marker in. And I stay on top of that because I know now that I realize that with me overcoming perfectionism and being a highly sensitive person. And when we say highly sensitive, it's not someone that's like, oh, my feelings hurt because you didn't say hey to me, or my feelings hurt because you didn't go sit by me, or my feelings hurt because why you ain't ask me to do the podcast. It's not that. It's that when I walk into a room, I can understand you before you speak. It's that when you say something to me, like the example of how you are working on accepting and enjoying the limelight, I immediately knew that it stemmed from somewhere deeper. Because if you can't rise to the occasion in a room this small, where's this light and it's these people, that has nothing to do with us. That's an inner thing, you know, because we can't get no closer now. Can't get no more tighter.
Yeah.
We already tight.
Yeah.
And I get it because we need the sound to be good. Because if I listen back to this, Chris, and that sound ain't good, I'm going to talk about you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to talk about you.
Yeah.
So I'm happy I don't have no headphones in because this ain't my business. I came here to do one thing, and that's something that God is working on me with. So that's why you left your headphones. For me to just come in and do what I'm supposed to do and not get in other people's lane. Because if I would have heard it, I would have like, give me a little bit more bass. take the lows out. I ain't trying to sound like no man. I am a lady. You know? So when we have that ability, you have to rework your life a certain way. But I only know about it because I've unpacked trauma. I've unpacked disappointment. I've unpacked heartache. I've unpacked heartbreak. I've unpacked how my father was deceased for 10 years and I didn't even know it. I unpacked that no one notified me of his death. I unpacked that my name was spelled wrong in his obituary. I unpacked that 10 years had went by before I knew anything. Because for a long time, I dealt with rejection. Because how could you have someone on this earth that you know is your child and you not do everything that you can to go see about them?
Right.
My brain for a long time, and because I was young, when I was feeling those emotions, probably around 13 or 12, when I was feeling all of those things, I had to get to a place where I was like, okay, this hurts. And I just covered it up. But when 2020 hit, it was like, all right, now I got to be still. And things started coming up. And so when things started coming up, I had to go figure it out. And in the midst of figuring it out, I had to learn, okay, this is good. This is good for me. Because when I first started therapy, I ran. I started and I was like, all right, get somebody else to do it. I ain't gonna do that. Because that made me feel some sort of kind of way. I ain't crazy. I ain't, you know, and it's not about that. To me, and what I want to use my platform to do, which is to open up to creatives and to Black people, that going to therapy isn't a bad thing. It's not a horrible stigma. It's just a human diary. And if you have a therapist that's like my therapist, who's amazing, it's someone who is very skilled in creating and teaching me how to handle my emotions that I feel very intensely, but not handling it from a prescription, not handling it from any vices, but learning how to really settle in myself and then say, okay, God, how are we gonna do this? And I feel like going to therapy has helped me get to a place where I can calmly sit before God and go through the process of praying and listening. But some of us are so wounded and so damaged, and we just trying to survive, that we can't sit still to save our lives.
Listen, therapy saved my life.
Listen, and you gotta walk out and work the tools. But you gotta make sure that it becomes a lifestyle. So for me, within this industry, maintaining my mental health is like how much I prioritize taking a shower.
Right.
I can be running late. I'm going to take a shower. Now it might be a fast one.
Yeah, but you want to take a shower.
I'm going to take a shower. And no matter how tired I get, I can't sleep without taking a shower. So for me, no matter how late I wake up, no matter what I got to do, I got to meditate. I have to pray. I have to read my Bible. I'm in a place in my life where I don't read my Bible just to be like, to tell my godmother, I read my word today.
Yeah.
No, I'm in a place where I read my Bible like I need water in the morning. I'm in a place where I read my Bible like I don't like nothing stuck in my teeth and I got to floss it out immediately, because I know I need the word of God to live. You know, you hear the scripture, what is the profit of man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? To me, I fully understand what that means, because what does it gain me to be making all this money and I'm miserable? I can't even talk nice to people.
Right.
I can't even enjoy the people that I love.
Right.
No. So we gonna get up, we gonna pray. Then when the hormones get all out of whack,
Okay.
you gonna go to your community and you gonna say, hey, I feel like I'm about to make a stupid decision. And then because your community is so silent, your community gonna say, turn some gospel music on. I just want to shout out my community.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee. That was a true story. But you have to have those tools in place. And you have to be aware of what your mental health is. For me, my mental health is I am hysterically intensely aware. And because of I am so aware, I interpret very dramatically. Am I lying, Renee? Was that a yes? I don't know why Renee act like she don't hear me. I just want to shout out my homegirl, Renee Hillsweet.
Hey.
That's another amazing, beautiful black woman that I got a list of amazing, beautiful black women. I'm just gonna call out names.
Go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to Dominique Clark. I want to give a shout out to Renee Hillsweet. I want to give a shout out to Brenea Jefferson.
Hey.
I want to give a shout out to Rachel Francois. I want to give a shout out to Monty Battle. I want to give a shout out to Danielle King. I want to give a shout out to, is Angel's last name Cook? I want to give a shout out to Angel Cook Williams. I want to give a shout out to the one and only Anye. What's Anye's last name? The one and only Anye. I want to give a shout out to, did I forget anybody?
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to all my other homies in my community.
Yeah.
But I really also do want to give a shout out to all of my mentors. I appreciate them. Yeah. I don't really name drop when it comes to mentors, but I appreciate each and every one of you. I think I have a total of 5 mentors. And I'm so grateful to them, and they are godsend. And I feel like my close friends are a godsend too. So that's how I maintain my mental health.
Yeah.
Chris, I want to say, as we close, like, thank you for continue pursuing being part of the journey. You know, like, I was talking to Ariel earlier, and I was just like, one thing I love, what people probably may miss in this day and age, is the work ethic. You know what I mean? Like, it take sometimes it take years to get where you need to be. Like I remember like getting my first camera in 2012. You seen one day her friend Candace helped me pack up. That's a whole nother story.
No, man.
But like I started off with one camera in 2012, and when I look at what I have, I'm like, man, like I put in that work. And I'm telling everybody who's listening, you have to put in that work. Sometimes it take years, but you have to put in the work.
If you, it's for people who to piggyback off of what you just said, I just say study erosion. And that's another thing that helps me stay solid is I study a lot. I study a lot, I read a lot, but I also go outside and have fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
I still color. I still go to the pool and just play in the water. I still play with my nieces and nephews. Like, we're going to sit down, we're going to play in the floor with toys. We're going to play with the Barbies. You want to play Spider-Man? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, you want to sing Frozen? I know it too. You know, you have to have those moments where you still nurture and heal your inner child.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out, like, okay, who said what they said?
Yeah, paint your own picture.
Clearly God has something else for you to do, and he needs you to use your mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Huh? Moses, don't nobody care if you stutter. Don't nobody care if you stutter.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how Jesus be. If we made Jesus a meme,
Yeah.
gotta be like, I said what I said.
Exactly.
Open your mouth. Go do what I told you to do. Because there's somebody waiting on you.
Yeah.
And then you don't want that blood on your hands because you didn't meet your mark. Because God said his word cannot and will not return unto him void. You don't want the rocks to cry out for you. I want to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Come on in. You are going up to unit 14, 13.
Hey.
That's what I want.
It's all ready for you.
Listen, and he already know how I want my house. And I'm going to have a wine room too. We're going to honor his first miracle.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yes, yes.
I'm just saying.
Oh man, do you anything you want to say and add in closure? Did you want to tell where to follow you or anything?
I first and foremost want to say thank y'all for my water and my berries.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I love both of them, and I'm taking them with me.
Go ahead.
But I do want to say to both of you, keep going. Keep going and document the journey along the way. Even if you just got a proper camera right over there.
Okay.
Go on with it.
Yeah.
Because I never would have thought to come to a library and do this.
Me either. Yo, I say to us, use your resources. Yo, like I never knew how evolved the library has become.
Yeah.
For real.
They got study rooms. They got classes. Yo,
Yeah.
Do this in a library? That's so freaking genius.
Yeah.
So I feel as though pursue it. If you can see it and it doesn't, this is how I measure when I'm going to jump on something. If I see it and it doesn't make me feel bad, and when I think through it, am I hurting anybody? Am I doing anything that's going to make me question or change my character? And if somebody else found out about it, would I be embarrassed? And with weighing my decisions on that scale, I'm going to go for it. And as I go for it, I'm going to look at the situation. Is this something that God wants me to pursue? Or is this something that he telling me to leave alone? Because as I'm seeking him daily, then I'm going to know what I need to be, how I need to be moving. And with the Holy Spirit guiding me, I'm gonna have everything that I need. Because, and with me staying in my word, I'm gonna know if I'm going in the right direction. Because the Bible also says thy word is a lamp unto my feet. So when, and getting in our Bible and breaking it down. So think about it and have critical thinking. I know critical thinking is not taught, but you have the ability to think critically. But again, this comes from a person that's hypersensitive.
Yeah.
Meaning when I read something, I'm going deep into it. So if it says in the Bible that thy word is a lamp unto my feet, then why would I need a lamp by my feet? That means where I'm walking is dark.
Yeah.
It's dark, right? So if thy word is a lamp unto my feet, that means thy word is what is fueling the fire. So if I'm saying I feel lost, or if I'm saying I don't know which way to go, that means I need some more brightness on my light. The way you add more lumens is the measurement of the intensity of the light. So when you have lumens of light, you're adding power.
Yeah.
So the way I add power to my light is through the word. So the way I add more light to where I'm to my feet is studying more of the word.
Yeah.
So that I'll know, okay, God, what I need, how I need to be doing this, where I need to be going, what's happening. Boom. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. And not reading the Bible to accuse it of being wrong.
Mm-hmm. People
Would
trying
you-
to flaunt. Yeah.
Would you want to date somebody that's like, your head a little lopsided,
Yeah.
but I think it can work?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would you want
Yeah.
to date somebody like,
Yeah.
you always pushing up your glasses and I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to entertain somebody who's coming to seek my faults or coming to seek and support what you don't understand about me. Take that on somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you coming to get to know me,
Yeah.
I got to talk to my ladies on this one. When he constantly wearing you down, he ain't even your type. But his pursuit has made you adjust your standards. So what if we do the same thing to God? That's all I'm saying. I live under the auspice of what if. So I want to share that auspice. What if you really lean into who you have the potential to become? Embrace the discomfort. Ask your therapist how you can work through the discomfort and still pursue that thing so that you can arrive on the other side. And you might just end up at destiny.
Woo.
Amen.
Hey, you know, the whole time you was talking about that lamp, and I know you gotta go, the light on your foot, the song that came to my mind, it kept playing in my head. Please order my steps in your
word.
doom.
Exactly.
Please
Drop it down the hill.
order my steps
Exactly.
in your doom. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I heard. The choir. That's all I heard.
Right.
And man, I miss that. We don't have gospel music like that.
Yo.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that, and it's like, what if we really give our all?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey man, I love it. I enjoyed it. I love people went to church like me. My mom
Okay.
had me in that thing.
I remember shut-ins. Bring you a pillow, go to sleep. What?
Yo.
I remember tarrying.
Oh man.
Huh?
That is funny.
Listen.
Close this out, Ariel.
This has been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Did you tell everybody where to follow you, where they can find you?
Yes.
Anything that is online, you can find me under I Am Crystal Power, and that is I am the words Crystal CRYSTAL Power POWER. No S's on my last name. God bless you. On every platform, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. The platform of my choice is YouTube, then Instagram, and then Facebook. So I'm not really on Facebook, but you can still go like it or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And yeah, I just wanted to thank you all for having me. This was really, really great.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm so excited for this. Well, we're going to close out. You can find us at The Art Community. That's DAARTCOMMUNITY. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube, and then you can go to theartcommunity.com.
Hey. Yo, we signing off. Thank you all. Until next time. Peace.
Oh, wait. Before we sign off, I mean, you could put this anywhere. But the other thing I wanted to add was there's this book that I definitely recommend for you. Like when you're in process of going to the next place, and it's called Hinds Feet. HINDS Feet, FEET. It's a very small book that a mentor gave to me a few years ago. You can order it from Amazon. It's like $12. Y'all read that book and then get at me. That book right there, and I mean really, really sit with it, really, really read it. That book right there, it changed my life.
Thank you.
And it's a small book.
Okay.
And it's talking about the process of going from glory to glory.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's a metaphor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I
I
love it.
love it.
Flowers on the Moon is my recommendation for a book as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, we signing out. Thank you all, because Eric got to go. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you.